Hello, my friends, it's Hannah here, and I'm here because I know what it can be like to know that you're approaching summer, to know that school's out pretty soon, to know that you still have a shitload of stuff to get done because you don't want to be behind when fall comes around, or you've set goals that are just so compelling you don't have time to deal with all that stuff that you know that you're gonna have to, that's gonna land on your plate just because the kids are home, the beach is calling, the mountains are calling, you'd rather go on a hike, all of these things. So how can you do it? How can you enjoy summer, which is so, I live in Canada and I need to enjoy my summer so I can endure those winters. So here's how I set things up, and here is how you too can work a whole lot smarter and not harder. Are you with me? Let's do this. Let's crush goals summer of 2018, and let's just forget about that hustle. That's for Gary Vee and the guys, right? Not our thing. Summer, we need to work super smart to get to reach these goals, to get shit done and really enjoy life. Okay, so think smarter, think absolutely not harder. This is about living more and stressing less, because you will end up saving so much time if you just take action sooner. And do you know how to take action sooner? It demands that you quit hesitating. It forces you to take bold action before you feel 100% ready to do so. It forces you to make a plan and stick to your plan in the name of saving time and getting to that beach at some point today, right? So planning is absolutely crucial, because once and for all, when you sit down and think through your day, your week, your goals, and you can see so clearly then that this step will lead to this and this and this and that, when sit down, plan it all out, map it all out, and then follow your plan. That means when you know what the next step is, you're not going to waste a whole bunch of time checking social media, doing some more research, checking this, checking that, signing up for that course, and all those super shiny objects that are orbiting around you. You'll be able to keep focus in a much bigger and better way with a plan. So if you don't already have a plan for this summer, let's create one right now and use the pause button, because I talk fast and I'm going to go through this fast. So it's on you to use the pause button and take the time that you need, because if you don't know where you're going, you're going to end up someplace else. Okay, so there is definitely, I've already been bad-mouthing Gary Vaynerchuk once here, but there is a time and a place for hustle. But it's not the way you think or the way you've been taught. This is when you're going to hustle and when you're really going to bring it. There's a whole other level of self-care that is also super crucial and very much a part of being this high-performance entrepreneur. Got to take care of yourself. And you are going to be able to take care of yourself when you have a plan. And this necklace is driving me nuts because I can't sit still, so I'm taking it off just in case it's dinging in the microphone that I have right here. So when you know what you're doing, when you're planning ahead, you can definitely hustle and you can definitely bring it, because you're going to end up with so much free time that you can take that best ever care of yourself too. So there's a huge difference between just being busy, just putting out fires everywhere, and then being strategically smart and actually productive. And this second scenario happens when you have a solid plan. So I have a few questions for you. Do you have goals that you haven't reached yet? Are you tired of that grind where it's like you wake up and you're so busy working in your business that you never get to work on your business and work smart with those systems and the strategies that you never have time to implement? Well, those are signs that you need to step half a step back, sit down, and get yourself a plan. And you're going to notice that planning will give you so much more freedom. And I know that some entrepreneurs totally dread summer. They know it's going to be a time of stress and hustle and cranky kids who you can't pay attention to them all the time, and late nights and lots of fun things, and you're going to end up feeling like a wreck, never getting anything done, never achieving the things you wanted to achieve, and you're going to feel disappointed in yourself. And when the fall comes around, you're going to have to pretty much start all over from scratch again. And, as they say, if you fail to plan, you need to plan to fail. And this is, I know it doesn't sound sexy. I know a plan sounds like the opposite of freedom. I know how entrepreneurs feel when I say, well, you got to sit down and plan. But I'm telling you, planning is freedom. Just trust me and just go through this here and prepare to see results and reach goals much faster than you have done without a plan. So here's how you do it. You need to set the bar a little bit too high. So forget about those SMART goals. I mean, I have the same coach training, the solution focused coach training, that's teaching us to make sure that our clients set goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timed, and boring, and not something that's going to get people to jump out of bed early in the morning and really work as hard as they can in the hours of the day that they have to really take care of themselves so that they can bring it. SMART goals are most likely not the fuel that your goals need. So reaching your goal needs to feel like a mandatory something that you have to do. You need to feel slightly obsessed about this, or not even slightly obsessed. Maybe you need to allow that obsession to come out passionately, feeling that this is a goal that you just have to achieve. And it's going to have to be set a little bit higher than you think, because otherwise you're not going to do your best. If you don't have a goal that is crazy enough, you're not going to bring it. You're going to hit the snooze button. You're going to eat crappier food. You're not going to take care of yourself so that you can be the best you. When you slack off in your goal setting, you're going to slack off in life. So set that bar a little bit higher than your comfort zone, because you know that everything that you want is on the other side of that comfort zone. So a bar that is set within the comfort zone, that is smart, measurable, achievable, and realistic, isn't going to be the push that you need to grow and reach goals faster. So a goal should function like a magnet. It should pull you towards it with quite a force. And revisit this goal on an absolutely daily basis and feel into it and embody that. Why? This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. And this is so worthwhile that you are going to stick to your schedule, and you are going to take the best ever care of yourself, and you are going to learn all those smarter systems for you. And don't confuse a goal with these boring to-dos. A goal is a whole series of to-dos that you will have to take action on in order to reach the goal. So here's how to plan. Here's how to get that roadmap that you need to arrive at your goal, and then set your next goal and your next goal. But let's just start with a goal in mind and just make it a little bit bolder than your comfort zone, okay? So imagine that you have already achieved this goal. Let's say that it's at the end of summer, and you can look back through time, through the summer that's already passed there in the future, and look back and say, wow, I wonder how I did this. But first, let's take a moment and really feel into what it feels like to have achieved that goal, the thing that you wanted to get to at the end of the summer. How are you feeling there in the future now that this is already a fact? You've achieved your goal. Feel into that. How do you feel? Do you feel proud, like a sense of accomplishment? How happy are you? How much impact can you see that you've had in other people's lives? What are the results, and how do you feel having achieved that? And really feel into that, and let those feelings and those energies kind of just flow through you, and then look back through time to here and now and ask yourself, wow, what were my first steps? What did I do to achieve this? What habits did you develop to help you achieve this goal over the summertime? What time did you have to get up in the morning to get all these things done? How well did you have to take care of yourself to get all these things done and keep your energy intact? What were your daily routines? So let's just say that end of the summer is 12 weeks for you, or 8 weeks, or whatever it might be. So just think that you are there, having already arrived at your goal in 12 weeks. And what partial goals did you have for week 11, 10? So if you've already achieved this major goal in 12 weeks, what would you have had to achieve in 11 weeks, 10 weeks, 9 weeks? And write all of those things down. And now the next step, once you have your partial goals, once you have your weekly goals that'll all lead up to this bigger goal, the 12-week goal or end of summer goal, now it's time to think about the to-dos. So just do a complete brain dump, looking at all of your goals and your weekly goals, and you'll notice a lot of to-dos, lots of things that you will have to do to achieve these things on a weekly and monthly and 12-weekly basis. First of all, just get them all down on Post-its. It's a beautiful thing to do because then you can reorganize them as you need to. So one Post-it per to-do, and get yourself either a wall or a big piece of paper and just start sticking all of these to-dos on there, okay? And then once you have done that, and you're going to have to hit the pause button here, you're going to organize the to-dos on a timeline. But the first step is to just get them randomly out there, and the second step is to organize them on a timeline. And when you have the Post-its and your to-dos on a timeline, it's time to apply, do, delay, delegate, and delete. And this is the fun stuff, because this is when things go from epically so big you don't know if you're ever going to be able to do it, to actually, wow, bite-sized. So look at your Post-its here and figure out which ones are these, probably closer on your timeline. And if you have a whole stack of them, like it has to happen this week right now, that's fine. Let's look at those. Because go through your pile of the more urgent things and look at which ones are important. Truly important. And with important tasks, I mean things that have an impact both for you and others. I mean things that bring you energy somehow. Sometimes you lose so much energy just by not doing something, that actually doing this dreadful task is going to save you and end up in the green again on your energy account. So look at that. What's going to save you enough energy or bring you enough energy to make it an important task, and what's going to bring home the bacon. Those three things: impact, energy, and cash flow. So the other thing to look at now, because especially if you had a whole stack of important and urgent do's that you have to do, you need to actually get honest and real with yourself and say, am I actually the only person that can do these things? Because when I coach entrepreneurs and when I talk to the really successful entrepreneurs, the one regret or the one piece of advice that they most often have to give to themselves or others, like startup entrepreneurs, is that they're wishing that they had learned to delegate sooner. And that's what this is about. Identify the things under the do and urgent and important things that you are the only one that can accomplish. And if you know that someone else can do it just as well as you, or perhaps even better, then you delegate it. Okay? So, but the things that are urgent, that are important, they get scheduled now. And then you have these things that are not quite as urgent, but they're still important. And these tasks can still only be accomplished by you, but they're not quite as urgent as the do pile. Those things also get scheduled, but not today or tomorrow, but when it fits your schedule better. The next stage is to find those things that you can delegate. Look at your due and the delay stashes again here, and notice the things that, in all honesty, somebody else can do just as well as you, or perhaps even better. Learn to delegate these things. And if you can delegate it, if you're truly in the startup, you don't have the kind of cash that it takes to hire a virtual assistant or delegate to someone else, you can look at things like delegate things around the house, because that is cheaper. It's cheaper to hire cleaning help than it is to hire somebody for tech help. So look at those things. And then also what you're doing, can that perhaps be automated? Can it be replaced by a better system, a better strategy? Look at that too. And then you're still going to have a lot of things left to look at. So look over these things and make sure you put enough in the due and the urgent pile. Kind of smooth out your schedule here and be really smart and strategic, and really be honest with yourself. Is it truly crucial that you get this done? Because a lot of these things you're going to notice are non-urgent and they're non-important. And what makes them non-important is that they do not have an impact. They do not bring home energy for you, and they are not bringing in the money that you need this to bring in. So those are the things that in your private life, you are going to have a lot of non-urgent and non-important things to do that still bring that quality of life that you want. Hanging with friends, going to the beach, all of these things. But when it comes to business, and when it comes to working harder, working smarter, not harder, you need to learn to delete the things that do not have an impact, that are not bringing the energy or the cash home. And that can be things like commenting excessively on social media, responding to every message that you get as soon as you get them, having all of the notifications turned to on and loud on your phone, and not not planning and not knowing what you need to do next, you're going to spend a lot of time doing these non-urgent, non-important things. So in your business, those things are going to just have to go. I've talked about this so much, self-care and routines, because I see so many people who think it's kind of cool to 10x goals, to hustle and to sort of play that big game. And I think that's fine. I think it's amazing that you take your goals and you multiply it by 10 and you get it done. I think it's amazing that you want to get up at 5 in the morning and work till 10 at night and really hustle and just be all over the place and do all the things. I don't think it's amazing that what you're doing is setting yourself up for a very unsustainable career, because you are going to get sick, you are going to be too tired, your brain will turn into mush. So when you set the bar that high, when you do want to 10x your goals and really work hard and absolutely do your best, there's the catch right there. Do your best. You can only bring it. You can only function at these high levels of high performance when you take care of yourself. And this is food. You can forget about grabbing that fast food at the fast food joint. This is about fitness. This is actually about planning your fitness and actually investing that time into yourself. This is about learning to develop the mindset that you need, and it takes a little bit of time to change your mindset. Perhaps you need to look at developing a meditation practice. You need to develop the habits that are going to sustain you. You do not want to burn yourself out. Some people can last for 10 years at a crazy pace. Some people die too young. Some people go through adrenal fatigue, like myself, because I've been there and not done the self-care and the routine. So I know what happens if you're not paying attention to your body and feeding it all of those things that it actually needs to be a high performer. So I'm sorry if I just added a whole bunch of other things, sorry, not sorry, to your plate this summer, but taking care of yourself is success. This is how you set yourself up for success. The things that you didn't think that you needed to take time for, such as planning and self-care, just became highest priority on your list. And I can guarantee that by taking good care of yourself, your brain is going to function optimally. You're going to be much faster. It's going to be easier for you to keep focus on a task. You're going to have enough energy to really bring it throughout all of those long hours if that's how you want to set yourself up. This is how you can crush it on a sustainable daily basis. Do not skimp on self-care. Those who think they have not time for bodily exercise will sooner or later have to have time for illness. Sorry. So, okay. And there's a spelling mistake on success. Sorry about that, my friend. Be super aware on your return on investment. This is how you set yourself up for success. You need to look at the things that you are doing. I've already talked about this when I talked about organizing things in your do, delay, delegate, and delete. But actually, is your to-do thing the thing that actually ended up on your daily task list, the to-do list for today? Does it have impact? Does it have energy? Is it bringing in cash for you? Or is your list full of low-value actions that aren't really bringing home? That's not really having the impact that you wanted it to have. That's not really giving you or saving you that energy that you should have saved, and is not really bringing home that cash. These things can be things like cold calling, just kind of selling to everyone who's gathered somewhere without pre-qualifying them at all, without having invited them to check out what you're all about. So cold calling is low value action. Things like working on social media without a strategic plan, low value action. Things like working with existing clients up to a certain point, just more hand-holding, over-delivering, all of these things, fairly low value actions, even though it's sometimes necessary. But these things you can probably delegate. All of your low value actions. I know I need to include all my friends who are website perfectionists, who just need a better website every day and rebranding every day, all of these things. If that's your jam, if you really want to have all that just so, delegate it, because I bet, unless you're a website designer or graphic designer, your time is better spent elsewhere. On your high value actions that need to be planned, mapped out, and followed through. And the high value actions are things like planning, like setting yourself up with a smart strategy, like social media with a plan. Those are high value actions when you can back it up with a strategy. High value action are things like sales copy, actually converting these tire kickers to customers when you're talking to a warmer audience. And the planning. I know I'm hardcore planner here because I've seen the results, what happens to people when they start planning. You run every single activity through your filter of return on investment. You need to apply do, delay, delegate, and delete, and you need to set the bar higher than you think you could, because this forces you to A, stick to your plan, B, be the best version of yourself and not skimp on the self-care. And C, the other beautiful thing that happens is that you have to retire the perfectionist, because you simply do not have time for low value actions such as perfectionism, low value actions such as hesitations, low value actions such as second guessing yourself constantly, low value actions such as overthinking. Those things, out the door. You don't have time for that shit. So here we go, and you've set your 12-week goals. You've applied the do, delay, delegate, delete to your to-do list. You've organized things on a timeline. You know when you need to do things and by when. What things you need to do and by when. So looking then at your longer term plan and all of your to-dos and your partial goals, what do you need to achieve this exact week? How do you set yourself up for success? Meaning, When will you finish this plan? How will you take care of that self-care? All of these things. Set yourself up for success. Get yourself an accountability partner. Do it. That is so important to have someone you can speak your goals to. Just find someone and return the favor. And when you return the favor of holding somebody accountable, don't be nice. Don't be, oh, you poor thing, I totally get it. Once when this happened to me, yada, yada, yada. Don't do that. Don't be nice. This is not a friendship. This is an accountability partner. And your friend can be your accountability partner if you put a different hat on. Because when you've been hired to be somebody's accountability partner, you hear them out. You hear their issues. Things aren't going so well this week. Nothing's going according to plan. Your question then is, what do you need from me to get you back up? What resources can I point you to get you back up? Do you need a pep talk? Do you need a new strategy? Do you need to try something else? What do you need to get back up on track? And I want you to succeed. I want you to reach your goals. And also to set yourself up so that you end each day on a high note, so that you look at your to-dos during the day. Don't save the worst for last. The worst is the first thing that you do. It becomes your daily frog that you need to eat on a daily basis. The worst thing that we like to procrastinate and that we're gonna end up losing energy because we haven't done and we know we need to get it done. Just do it first and save yourself that energy leak. And set yourself up to end on that high by doing something that brings you energy later on in the day. And I'm talking summertime hours. I'm going to be working 5 to about 10, possibly noon some days, 5 a.m. to about noon. And when I end my day on a high note, I'm going to have energy to go out and have fun with my kids, to go on those hikes, to go to that beach. If I end my day on a low frog eating note, I'm gonna not look forward to getting back to work the day after. I'm gonna be possibly in a bad mood when I step into my next stage of the day, which is being a mom. So look at me going with my Swedish Swanglish. So the weekly review. This is what you do at the end of each week. You tweak and review at the end of the week. You look at the actions that you took. Did they give you the desired results? If not, you need to take 100% responsibility. If they did go right, you take 100% responsibility and you go celebrate that. But blaming the outcome on others is not going to make you successful. So you need to look at what were the steps that you took in this case scenario that you could have done differently. What went wrong, what went right, and look at your involvement. What actions did you take to produce the right results? What actions did you take to produce those undesired results? What are your insights here? And I am so curious. This is the most important piece of your weekly review. Did you do your best? Is there room for improvement? And if so, what does that look like? See, when you set the goals high and the bar is higher than you think that you can, some weeks you're not going to reach it. But you can still celebrate your success if you did your best. So on a scale from 1 to 10, did you do your best? And 10 is, yeah, I totally brought it. I definitely did my best. That is your grading for the week. I don't care so much if you actually accomplished your goals because you've intentionally set the bar a little bit too high. I do care, and you should care. Did you bring it to the week? Did you actually do your best? So what will you do this week to make sure that this upcoming week is the best week yet? I don't care if it's summer or not, but here's what you need to do. You need to speak your goals publicly. You need to get on the phone or your Facebook and get that accountability partner now. You have friends, you have other entrepreneur connections. Someone's gonna say, yeah, hell yeah, I need an accountability partner too. Let's do this. And the way you work with your accountability partner is you speak your goals to them, and then you check back in on a Wednesday and say, how are you doing? Remember, you don't get stuck in victim story on Wednesdays. It's all about getting each other back on track and celebrating each other's victories. Each day you're going to eat your frogs, which is the least appealing to do that you have on your list. Do that thing first. And then we end up with a Friday review and celebration. I want you to celebrate throughout this summer. Celebrate that you got out of bed at 5 when everyone else were already sleeping. You did that every day. You sat on your meditation cushion. You ran your miles. You showed up at your CrossFit class. You did all of these things to do this, to take care of yourself. You took 10 extra minutes every day to prepare your meals. You took care of yourself, and you need to celebrate that. You need to celebrate those things just as well as we have learned. We've been conditioned to only celebrate our results. So I just went over the weekly review on how to sort of really mine the week that has passed for all the juicy stuff that's going to set you up for even better weeks in the future. So go back and check that if you don't remember what Friday review is. And you know what? Do your best. And when I say your best, I actually mean your very best. And that's going to vary from week to week. Maybe you were up with a pukey toddler all through the night. You're probably not going to work at the same optimal level as you could have if you'd had 8 solid hours of sleep and best food ever. So your best is going to be a variable. And that's cool, but bring it and do your best every day and set yourself up for that success by taking the best ever care of you. And the biggest thing, if you're not going to listen to any of these things that I've told you, if you think it's too complicated and I'm not going to be able to talk you into starting up a plan, there's this one thing that you can do that will change your life forever. Save time by never again hesitate. If you get an idea, even if you haven't, if you're one of those, don't throw the plan down my throat because I'm going to quit. You can still save time and you can still work smarter and not harder just by this one little element. Cut out the hesitation. And even if you're feeling like, oh, I don't know if this is good enough, I can't, oh, this isn't looking so good, just do it and get it out of the way. Let that action cure your fear and save so much time in hesitation. So that's what I've got for you for now, because I'm going to come back for sure with more tips and tricks on how to get the summer, how to really, really succeed with all of your goals throughout this entire summer that we're coming up against. How you are going to be able to look back in the fall and say, wow, that was a really, really good summer. And you're not just going to mean the fact that you were able to absolutely crush your goals. It's also going to be the best summer yet with your family, with your kids, with your friends, because you are going to be working a whole lot smarter. And planning in the way that I've been describing, that's just one of the things that you can do to really set yourself up for this best summer ever. But it is a crucial piece. So I want to make sure that we get this right and that we learn to really work the system. So stay tuned for more videos from me on this topic, and I shall see you very soon.